It's one thing to reroute a wide receiver, but you can't grab him. And the official right there on
he don't listen. That's all.
On third down and about 17 yards. Not only is it 10 yards, but it's the automatic first down that really hurts DeSoto.
Who, DeSoto?
So they'll move the football now out to the
yeah. When it was 7-7. Now they just gotta hold on them.
9:53 left here in quarter number 3. Panthers in the state championship game each of the last 2 years, only to come up short in back-to-back years. They're going to throw. They get into the hands of Daniels, and Daniels will take it to midfield. He'll break a tackle, gets to the right sideline, puts on the jet. Still.
Oh my gosh! Oh my! Oh my! No, it's like they playing against a college team, though, man. They playing against a college squad, bro.
There was pretty decent coverage on him. I mean, it was man coverage.
That fool just made a better play, dog.
Obviously, they've tried to make an adjustment here because Duncanville sort of ate up the zone in that first half, but they go man there, and it's hard. It's
what y'all gonna watch? Wonder Woman?
A kid like Roderick Daniels that can run out of sight in about 2 blinks, maybe not 1 blink, but 2 blinks. He is so hard to tackle too. What a great run after the catch.
He's gone over 1,000 yards receiving for the season here tonight. They will go on the ground this time to Medlock, and Medlock fighting his way to the goal line. He is in his second rushing touchdown of the night, and it is another 6 for Duncanville.
I didn't catch the yardage on that big long pass to Daniels, but they got him down inside the 10, and Daniels is only 5'10", 175, Mike. And I don't know that I have seen a more physical wide receiver than Roderick Daniels, who's going to be going to SMU. I think he had decommitted and then decided to go to SMU. But they're going to get a real good one. I mean, a real good wide receiver. He is so good after the catch.
So good after the catch. Excellent speed.
He already knew because you could tell. Huh?
With 9:19 to go in the third, Duncanville.
Okay, then that's it.
DeSoto is now 35-7. You're watching
he already knew. You could tell after last game when they asked him, hey,
This presentation of the NFHS Network is brought to you by Tony
is that no
Sachery's
sound?
famous Creole cuisine. Tony Sachery's makes everything taste great.
They asked Mathis about playing Duncanville. He didn't sound too confident, though.
So the Duncanville Panthers, 4 unanswered touchdowns here tonight. They have broken this one open here early in the third quarter, leading DeSoto 35-7. This Duncanville
here
team,
tonight.
They have broken this one open. The competition so far here in this postseason. Fair catch going to be called here at the 40-yard line. Beat Harker Heights in the opening round 60-14. Took care of Skyline in the area round 49-14 here at the 40-yard line. Semifinals, they shut out Houston. Beat Harker Heights in the opening round 60-14. Took care of Skyline in the area round 49-14 here at the 40-yard line. Semifinals, they shut out Houston. Beat Harker Heights in the opening round. Again, after back-to-back losses in the state championship game, Reginald Samples and this team, they've got some unfinished business. South Lake Carroll awaits the winner. They'll play next weekend. They'll hand the football off here, Will DeSoto, as Elijah Williams, the senior running back, will get his first carry of the night. He'll get about 3 yards.
Yeah, and remember, they've got Chris Henley and Robert Richardson, a guy that can run the ball, but he can also catch out of the backfield. Haven't seen those guys all that much here in the second half. We'll see if they can get into the action here.
Again, another run, little stutter step, but not going anywhere. Coming up and making the stop is Jordan Crook, the middle linebacker. All right, DeSoto they've just been stymied by this Duncanville defense, and it really, there's really not much else that DeSoto can do. It's just that Duncanville is just playing at such an elite level defensively.
That's it. And it really can break your will. It can take the fight out of you.
Duncanville just playing at such an elite level defensively. And that'll be a first down.
And it really can break your will. It can take the fight out of it. It's a nice throw, and I love how he was able to step into it. Pressure has been there, but I think Samari Collier has really fought at that quarterback spot, really leading the troops here.
Fresh set of downs. They will go on the ground right up the middle and maybe getting a yard, but
fought at that quarterback spot, really leading the troops here.
Fresh set of downs. They will go on the ground right up the middle and maybe getting a yard, but
fought at that quarterback spot, really total yards now. Duncanville 381.
They will go on the ground right up the middle and
Desoto not even 100 yards yet on the offensive side. Yeah, that's hard now. Duncanville 381. They will go on the ground right up the middle and Desoto not even 100 yards on the offensive side.
Adonis Scott, flags fly. Scott gets the corner turn, gets the sideline. Now we got to check flags, and again, more pushing and shoving. Adonis Scott, be cool now, everybody. Corner turn, gets the sideline.
A lot of verbal exchanges going on here, and the officials just trying to get a hold of it. They threw a couple of unsportsmanlike flags earlier in the half. Verbal exchanges. This one apparently going to be going against Desoto. Maybe I think it was a track back block. I didn't see it. I was watching the wide receiver there.
Call against Desoto, so that'll wipe out the big against Desoto. With all the surfing that is going on,
I didn't see it. I was watching this.
You worry about what we saw the armed forces with Mississippi State. The outbrawl they had with Tulsa at the end of the game. It's just like the officials right now are doing their best to make sure that they keep control of this game. And the players need to get a good yell of their emotion with Tulsa.
And the officials are doing the right thing. They're really getting in the middle of it and trying to keep everybody calm and let them know that hey, we're not going to have this. This is going to be a clean fight. I wouldn't be surprised if during the timeout our lead official didn't go to both sides and remind them, hey, get your group together and let them know, hey, we're not going to do this.
Matt Allen now in a quarterback for the second down and 20. He's going to step up in the pocket and he's going to be brought down after a gain of about a yard. Good coverage downfield. Tyler Quinn, the defensive end, makes the tackle, 3rd and long.
And this defensive front just continues to come at you. That Tyler Quinn, we talked about an academic all-state kid. Talk about a smart kid. Not only does he run a 4.8 40, he's athletic, but he's one of your better kids in the classroom. I've had a 3.8 GPA. And there's no question that coaches don't have champions on the field that aren't champions in the classroom. And a lot of young kids don't understand that.
3rd and long for DeSoto. 3rd down and 19. Allen looking to throw over the middle. It's going to be caught, but well shy of the first down as he gets back to about the original line of scrimmage.
And Pierre Goree laid a lick on him and kind of bounced up, might have said something, but Goree, a state champion in the 100-meter, one of the fastest guys in the state, ran a 10.500 as a freshman.
Adonis Scott with the reception. 4th down and 10, and they will go for it. Here comes the blitz. Flushed out is Allen. He's going to try to tuck it under and run. Does he have the speed? He does. He's got the first down for DeSoto. Excellent run that time by the junior Matt Allen to extend the drive for the DeSoto Eagles.
When you feel like you're a little bit faster on defense, defensive back coaches love it when the coordinator calls man coverage. The one problem with that is when everybody runs down the field and the quarterback scrambles, there's nobody there to rally to the football. And that's the problem Duncanville had on that last play.
So down 28, 4th and 10. They roll the dice. And they roll a 7 or 11. Now Allen's looking to throw. He's got a man. It's going to be caught inside the 10-yard line and down to the 2. That's Jaden Wilson on a beautiful throw by Matt Allen.
Boy, nice 25-yard connection. And, again, 35-7. You've still got 18 minutes to go in the game. And if DeSoto can start a little rally, make some things happen on defense, you never know. This game is not over.
And you have an injured Duncanville player down at the 2-yard line. Can't see the number from where our broadcast spot is. And he went down in a heap. Immediately rolled over to his side. They have training staff over there. But Matt Allen's been impressive since he has come in here on this drive. Gets the big 4th down conversion run and then a great throw to get right to his wide receiver right in stride. Get some yards after the catch.
Allen had thrown 79 balls earlier this year. He was 55 for 79, 844 yards, had the 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He's a junior. He'll probably be the starter next year once Collier moves on after this year. But, Matt Allen, he started 4 games this year in Collier's absence, and that was as a result of injury. But he's mobile, a little bit more mobile than Collier, believe it or not. Runs really well. We saw that just a little bit out of the pocket. But this is a DeSoto team that's in desperate need of a score, but if they get it here, I would think from a mental standpoint, from the outlook, it would sort of rejuvenate their defense, and we'll see if they can make something happen.
Jadarius Thursby, the outside linebacker, was the injured Duncanville player. First down and goal from the 2. They'll hand the football off, and not being able to get it is Chris Henley. Henley has stood up right at the line of scrimmage as once again Kevon Ivey right in the middle of all the action.
Ivy was in there, and there were about 3 or 4 guys. I mean, they rallied to the football as well as any team that you will see in the postseason. Gorey was there, that safety, everybody flowing to the football. And DeSoto going to try to line up and run it at them and see if they can put it in there. They may have to go to the play-action fake. We'll see.
Got the running back Robert Richardson to the right here of Matt Allen on the 2nd down and goal. Wilson goes in motion. They'll hand it to Richardson, and Richardson finds the end zone. 2 yards out, his 5th rushing touchdown of the season, and DeSoto is on the board here in quarter number 3.
Nice job by Cameron Lambert, the right guard, and Joshua Straw, the right tackle. Those 2 guys really doing a number there on that defensive front. Really good job of keeping the linebackers from getting penetration. And DeSoto back on the board, 5:12 to go, and maybe an onside kick forthcoming, who knows?
Maybe the start of a comeback for DeSoto. Here is the extra point from Diaz that is up, and it is good. And with 5:12 to go, here in our 3rd quarter, our new score, Duncanville 35.
Everybody knows how good Louisiana food is. For us, it's a way of life. We call it Creole. Creole is the melting pot of cultures, music, and great food. Salt and pepper? No way. On whatever you cook or whatever you eat, use Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Trust me, I know Creole, and this is the real deal.
Oh yeah, Tony Chachere
Makes everything taste great.
So a nice drive by DeSoto, and again, Matt Allen leading the way. He had that big 4th down and 10 run to keep the drive alive, and then nice pass play to Wilson, and then eventually capped off with a 2-yard touchdown run by Robert Richardson to make this a 3-score game now at 35-14. And now it's up to the DeSoto defense to try to get the football back here to their offense.
And Duncanville's got 9 guys within about 6, 7, 8 yards here of midfield, just in case.
Just in case Claude Mathis is thinking about an early onside kick here in the midway portion of our 3rd quarter. Instead, they will kick it deep. This will be returnable here from the 21-yard line. Across the 30 is Hicks, and he will get out to the 40-yard line. So it'll be a 19-yard return, and good starting field position now for Duncanville with 5 minutes to go here in the 3rd.
One thing that little kangaroo kick does for you is that at least sort of guards against the long return, and while you do give up some field position, still make Duncanville go 60 yards. By the way, that last drive for DeSoto, 9 plays, 61 yards in a time of 4:06. So really nice drive there by DeSoto on their 2nd drive of the half.
Yeah, finally getting something. The Duncanville defense finally gives up something. Every yard has felt like trying to get through a brick wall. Now the Duncanville offense ready to go back to work here. Grayson James fakes the handoff, will throw out here, gets it into the hands once again of Daniels, and he better swarm to the football when he has it. DeSoto does a good job of doing that. It'll be a gain of 6.
I was going to say, they did, and he still was able to get 3 or 4 after the catch. Just a little hitch. All he needs is just a slight morsel of some space, just a little window, a little crack, and he's able to explode. How quickly does he accelerate? Man, it's fun to watch him.
He goes 0 to 40 in the blink of an eye. 2nd and 4 for the Panthers. Senior quarterback Grayson James barking out the signals. He'll hand the football off, and stood up at the point of attack is Malachi Medlock. Looks like maybe a half a yard is all he's going to get, and it'll be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go here for the Panthers. Yeah. So an opportunity right now, Scott, here for Duncanville to force a 3 and out, try to get the football back.
Something you may not have seen there, that line judge just sprinted. I mean, immediately he blew the whistle when Medlock was sort of fighting for a couple of extra yards on 2nd and 3rd effort, but the official said, no, you were down, which turns this into a 3rd and 4, and we'll see if DeSoto can make something happen here and get them on a 3 and out.
Now the defense has forced 2 turnovers today. Right now just trying to get a 3rd down stop. They bring pressure and they throw it and they get it caught, and that is Daniels. And if Daniels isn't tripped up, he's going to the house. Instead, It's a gain out to the 43-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 11 yards. More importantly for Duncanville, it's a 1st down.
And a hot route right into the blitzing line. But in fact, they blitzed 2 guys on that last play, and they were able to get a pass right where that blitzer was coming from, which is what you want to try to do. And, not only does Duncanville execute, they're real smart in what they do. They're keeping it simple here and just taking what the defense gives them as they smart in what they do. They're keeping it simple here and just taking what the defense gives them, as they say.
It's a solid throw right on the money again from Grayson James. Fresh set of downs now for the Panthers in DeSoto territory. Pressure coming once again. James steps up in the pocket, looking, throwing deep into double coverage, going up and making the catch is Roderick Daniels Jr. My goodness, this kid is special, down to the 10.
He's special because Milner Jones' hand is right between the ball and his arm, and I can't believe he was able to come down with that catch. Roderick Daniels a little shaken up there, took a hard hit, but man, is he durable and so explosive. He runs well, he runs routes well, he has great hands, he's physical.
Here. That's a gain of 33 for Daniels, so another big play here for Duncanville. Now they've got a 1st down and goal here at the 10-yard line with 2:45 left in our 3rd quarter.
Daniels has 260 receiving yards now, and he's made 6 grabs.
That's a pretty good per, isn't it? Oh, there's the snap, goes through the head, and look out, the ball's on the ground, and they're diving for it. DeSoto says they have it, and they do. DeSoto forces the 3rd turnover of the game as the snap could not be handled by Grayson James. DeSoto gets the turnover that they needed, and now they get the football back with 2.5 minutes left here in our 3rd quarter, trailing by 21.
I can't help but think of the old adage that football games are not won, they're just not lost. And that's what Duncanville has to do now. They really... You break it down, they don't really need any more points. They just got to keep from making mistakes. And that's what teams do that end up losing a lot of leads. They make too many mistakes. And now DeSoto, while they don't have great field position, at least they've got the ball back.
They've got the football, and Matt Allen, once again, is at quarterback. Led the team to the last touchdown drive, so he'll earn another series. Allen will hand the football off, looking for some running room, and not finding much at all is Elijah Williams. He was looking like, okay, is a hole going to be here, a hole there? Never developed, and he's going to lose a couple of yards on 1st down.
That's the 2nd run for a loss in this half. We had a sack, too, earlier in the game, and you look at the number of times that DeSoto's been held to negative yards. There's been a ton of plays. The -8s, the -7s, -2 here. They're starting to mount.
Second. Kind of leaning forward there before the snap, and the officials caught it, and that'll set DeSoto back 5. So they're going in reverse after the turnover.
That's what good defenses make you do.
And certainly Duncanville's defense, top-notch.
And they just keep coming at you.
Yeah, they're relentless.
They're relentless. They don't take their foot off the gas. And they love playing defense with big leads.
2nd and long, and penalties will fly again before the snap.
And
another procedure penalty against DeSoto.
Yeah, I was watching the near side, and Jordan Cook lined up on the edge, and they were bringing him on a blitz.
Well, now this is going to set it back all the way to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, look at the whole picture.
Boy, this is not what you want to be against a Duncanville defense.
All I know is that
To me, only a half minute
South Lake
anyway.
Carroll's had a lot to look at tonight.
Yes.
They got a lot to adjust to.
2nd and 23. They will go with the handoff coming through. Here is Richardson.
Oh!
And Richardson gets to the 20-yard line and then just gets popped by the safety, Pierre Goree. My God.
Good grief, was that a hit?
He got hit, though.
That's a collision, folks. That is a football collision.
Where's the Tylenol?
No kidding. 3rd down, though. Got much of the penalty yards back. 3rd and manageable. Looking to run is Allen. In pressure, look out! And he throws it over the head of Richardson. Boy, closing in on that play was Duncanville's Jordan Crook. And, boy, if Crook was looking for the football, may have had a chance for an interception.
I'm still trying to come to after that last hit by Goree.
Get the little smelling sauce for you over here in the booth.
I need some.
So the Duncanville defense does its job following the turnover. At his own 8-yard line. Send the punt away. Gonna bounce, take a Desoto roll. Smart decision, I think, that time to let the ball go. It's going to cost you a few extra yards of field position, but certainly you didn't want to take the risk of a muff there from Daniels, and with the 3-touchdown lead, they'll give up the 10 yards of field position. Duncanville will get the ball 1st and 10 at the 30.
Yeah, best punt we've had tonight in terms of yardage. 49-yard punt right there for DeSoto, and they needed it. Now you'd like to get a turnover so you can have some decent field position
Yes.
with it. And the thing for Duncanville, too, they got the 3-touchdown lead. They really, you don't have to have more points. You just have to manage the game and play ball control and do what you do. You don't have to get cute. And line up, run the football, make DeSoto play defense, and see what happens here.
Yeah, maybe we'll see a little more Malachi Medlock here on this drive just to eat up some of that clock, shorten the game. Let those offensive linemen do some work for you. Instead, it's a high snap to James, and he has to go back and get on top of the football. Boy, a high snap that time. James did a good job of getting a fingertip on it to knock it in the air, and the ball went down, and wisely just smothered it back at the 22-yard line, but that's a big loss.
It's a big loss, and I think I could hear the line coach from here when he said, keep your rear end down.
Yeah.
That's what they tell the center. Whenever that ball starts coming up high, they want him to stay down, because sometimes centers want to pop up and block before the ball is snapped, and it promotes a very high snap.
See if Duncanville runs another play before the clock expires, and they will not. And we will head to the 4th quarter of this regional final with Duncanville leading DeSoto 35-14. You are watching the UIL on the NFHS Network.
Everybody knows how good Louisiana food is. For us, it's a way of life. We call it Creole. Creole is the melting pot of cultures, music, and great food. Salt and pepper? No way. On whatever you cook or whatever you eat, use Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Trust me, I know Creole food, and this salt and pepper is the real deal. On whatever you cook or whatever you eat, use Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning.
Came down here last weekend. Mm-hmm.
We head to the 4th quarter at Globe Life Park. Mike Peasley, Scott Garner with you here on a beautiful Saturday night. Temperatures here in the upper 40s at Globe Life Park. Happy New Year, everybody. Hopefully everyone's getting 2021 off to a rip-roaring start. 12 minutes separating one of these two teams from a berth in the state semifinals next week against South Lake Carroll. And right now, it is Duncanville's game with the 21-point lead. But as we start the 4th quarter, they will be looking at a second down and long, second down and 18 from their 22-yard line. Grayson James.
5, 4. Oh, he 4. Oh, it May 8.
I'm just thinking about potentially a Duncanville. And they've got wide receivers that can run precise routes. It will be a very good matchup, I think, next week if it is Duncanville meeting South Lake Carroll.
Yeah, I totally agree. And won't that be fun? Quinn Ewers, the country's #1 prospect for the class of 22, going up against a defense led by Kendrick Blackshire, headed to Alabama. And, of course, Ewers committing to Ohio State. A little prelude to a week from Monday, the national championship game between Ohio State and Alabama. They declined the penalty, so it's 3rd and long. They're trying to set up a screen, and Desoto had that snuffed out beautifully. Great tackle right there by Brandon Tucker, the linebacker, as they read that screen pass all the way.
Yeah, that's JB's runner, a guy that's great in the open field, can get downhill, a great downhill player, makes the tackle right behind the line of scrimmage there. It's a real nice play, and it forces Duncanville into a rare punt.
So the DeSoto defense has done extremely well so far, each team getting a touchdown in that 3rd quarter. Here comes the punt. This is returnable from the 42-yard line. Look out! Look out! He is going to go! That's going to be a DeSoto touchdown, 58 yards.
That's the sound.
Play, 58-yard kick return for the touchdown. And when you looked at the coverage, Duncanville did everything right. They had the V set up. You want to set up a V there in coverage. They had it set up. They had contain. They did everything right except tackle.
8-point lead for the Panthers has been trimmed in half. Does DeSoto have an unbelievable comeback forthcoming? 11:06 to go. It's Duncanville 35, DeSoto 21, and you're watching the UIL on the NFHS Network.
Everybody knows how good Louisiana food is. For us, it's a way of life. We call it Creole. Creole is the melting pot of cultures, music, and great food. Salt and pepper? No way. On whatever you cook or whatever you eat, use Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Trust me, I know Creole. And this is the real deal.
Oh, yeah. Tony Chachere's
Makes everything taste great.
Well, don't turn off that stream yet, everybody. DeSoto not going down without a fight. Huge 58-yard punt return from Adonis Scott has shot some life here into the Eagle sideline, and the Eagle fans, they're having a good time right now.
Yeah.
Still, basically the entire 4th quarter to go.
You got a little energy injected now. You got a little momentum. It's only a 2-score game now. Duncanville, they've got a 35-21 lead, but all of a sudden it kind of looks like they've lost their edge a little bit in that 3rd quarter. Somewhere they kind of lost it, and the Panthers going to try to regain it here.
Yeah, they better regain it quickly because DeSoto is not going away. Here comes the kickoff from Diaz. Hicks goes back and fields it from his own 15-yard line. Across the 25 to the 30, 35, 40, and he's going to be pushed out of bounds there. That nice return from Chris Hicks Jr. That'll be a kickoff return of 28 yards out to the 43.
Great kick return. And again, DeSoto had guys there, but a determined return for Duncanville. They've got great field position, but again, Duncanville, it's about, for them still, limiting the mistakes. They've had the bad snap that resulted in a fumble. They did not tackle on that last punt return. So a couple of really big mistakes opening the door for DeSoto, but it takes a really good team to take advantage of it. DeSoto back in it.
Let's see how the Panthers respond right now. As again, DeSoto fans, this is the loudest they've been here tonight. For Grayson James. Another high snap goes down and gets it. He'll throw here to the near side. It's caught.
Quick out. Get him on an island. Challenging DeSoto to make a tackle. And again, we've seen great tackle after great tackle from both of these two teams. They are able to do it. And you mentioned Singleton. He's a really good tackler, a physical, cornerback, plays hard. He'll rotate in there with Jalen Robinson. Those two guys kind of platoon at that spot.
So just a gain of 3. Duncanville working slowly right now, trying to exhaust as much of the play clock as possible. The play clock is down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, and they're going to have to take a timeout as they will not be able to get the play taken in time. So 10-10 to go in the football.
Everybody knows how good Louisiana food is. For us, it's a way of life. We call it Creole. Creole is the melting pot of cultures, music, and great food. Salt and pepper? No way. On whatever you cook or whatever you eat, use Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning. Trust me, I know Creole. And this is the real deal.
Oh, yeah. Tony Chachere's
Makes everything taste great.
Duncanville Panthers trying to hang on to this one here tonight. Midway through the third quarter, they had a 35-7 lead. Since then, back-to-back touchdowns from Desoto. Richardson had a 2-yard touchdown run, and Aldana Scott had the big 58-yard punt return for a touchdown to make this a 14-point game.
Every down big, but if they can make a play here, you can get Duncanville behind the chains badly in this spot. And with 10-10 to go, still a very much a ball game.
Grayson James, the shotgun. Hicks will go in motion. Looking, and it's incomplete, and a penalty flag is going to come down. They were trying to get it to Daniels. The pass was low. We'll say Daniels was interfered with.
I'm going to say Layton Adams interfered with Daniels, held him up at the line of scrimmage. The contact wasn't all that big when the ball arrived, but I think they're going to get him before the ball was in the air.
If that's the case, then it'd be defensive holding and not pass interference. And that will be the call. Your eyes are working well here in 2021, Mr. Garner.
Well, this game anyway. I had a hard time reading those Cedar Hill jerseys last game. You didn't know.
That was a great game. Cedar Hill winning in overtime to advance to the 6A Division II state semifinals, as they were able to knock off Rockwell Heath 27-24 in overtime. Third game of the day here at Globe Life Park. And earlier, South Lake Carroll defeating Trinity 59-35. Here, 10 minutes to go. Duncanville trying to close it out. They'll throw. They get it to Hicks. A little hitch route at the 40. And he'll drag a tackler with him down to about the 38-yard line. So that's a nice, safe pass, and it gets the clock rolling once again, which is Duncanville's biggest ally right now, is that game clock.
Again, go right at Lathan Adams. Lathan Adams generally will guard the other team's best wide receiver. He's kind of been matched up with Roderick Daniels. Last couple of plays, he's had a hard time getting leverage and making that tackle, but the good news for DeSoto is they're rallying to the ball.
2nd and 4, 9.5 minutes to go. James, a mishandle, and boy, Malachi Medlock was just fortunate to get that football that time, as that was dangerously close of hitting the ground.
Byron Murphy, who is a Texas commit, a monster, a beast in the middle, a 5-star guy at that nose guard spot. What a tackle in the open field. Yeah, if this guy's a few more inches, he might be the number 1 recruit in the state.
You look at Murphy, 14 sacks this year.
Yes.
20 tackles for loss.
So you want some more food?
Position at your defense.
Come on.
You had a 5-star going to Texas to play before, and now a 5-star player going to A&M, and a guy that wants to get to the football every play. DeSoto's got a pretty good defensive line, too.
Yes, they do, and they showed it on back-to-back plays. A future Longhorn and a future Aggie. Who says they can't get along? And now they're going to get the football back, down by 14 points with still over 8 minutes to go in the football game. Here comes the punt. At the 15, it's muffed, and it's going to go out of bounds at about the 10.
I don't think it went out of bounds. I think he picked that thing up and tried to run with it and almost fumbled it again. They got him down at the 5-yard line.
Wow.
And I tell you what, that was as dangerous as you'll see. And again, field position a problem here for the DeSoto offense.
So you had Adonis Scott with the big punt return the previous time. This time was just unable to field the punt, in terrible field position now for the Eagles, as they're going to start at their own 5-yard line with 8:01 to go in the football game, down 2 scores.
I tell you what, though, if you are a DeSoto fan and you're watching this team, what about the character shown right here? What about the fight shown by Claude Mathis' ball club? They continue to go toe-to-toe with the state's #1 team.
You would expect nothing less from a Claude Mathis team. Now Collier, pressure, he's going to have to throw the football away. I mean, Claude Mathis is as good as it comes in terms of a leader of men. There is just going to be no quit in any team that is coached by Claude Mathis. He just won't allow it to happen.
Now for the Mustangs. For the Mustangs, and what a job he did. He and the entire coaching staff at SMU and Sonny Dykes completely turning around the program.
2nd down. They'll hand the football off. Richardson with the run. He'll get it out to the 10-yard line, and what a tackle that was by Blackshark.
Blackshark kind of grabbed him and gave him a little extra there at the end. You see that?
Yeah, they're wanting a horse collar tackle, but that looked like a good, clean tackle from the future member of the Alabama Crimson Tide defense. So now a 3rd down and 5 from the own 10-yard line with 7.5 minutes to go. DeSoto down 2 scores. Can Collier convert the 3rd down to keep the drive alive? They will bring pressure. It's picked up. They'll throw here, and it's off the hands, incomplete. Had a man, Jonte Cook, but was just unable to turn around in time to find the football. And now it's 4th down, and you can't go for it at your own 10-yard line, can you, with 7:19 to go?
I think they need to. Well, we're going to talk about it. I don't know. A lot of coaches would. This is a tough call.
Long ago. Oh, you was about to get in the fight. Oh, yeah, I think I missed that game. Because we would have ended up fighting for real.
Football just a tad earlier than he needed to. Otherwise, they complete that out for the 1st down.
Yeah, they'll punt the football away. Collier, the quarterback, also works as the punter. I think there's just too much time left in the game. Plus, your defense is playing extremely well right now to go for it at your own 10. Here's Collier with the punt, his best. Oh, my goodness. That was the most scary, exhilarating, exhausting punt return of the season.
A gamble that Duncanville really didn't need to take, and they end up losing the football. It worked out for them because athletes tend to make bad situations into good situations, and that's what the Panthers were able to do there. But most coaches would be yelling, hey, Peter, get away from the football. We don't need anything bad to happen. And DeSoto almost made something real good happen for the Eagles, but it just didn't work out for them.
Boy, some way, somehow it worked out for Daniels, in great field position now for Duncanville as they will start at the DeSoto 35-yard line. Well, just the athleticism from Daniels was the difference there. They'll start on the ground to Malachi Medlock, and he goes nowhere.
Oh, and a little extra after the play, but the officials did not throw the flag that time. They are still chirping down there. The verbal exchanges taking place. That time, Savion Byrd had enough.
So that'll be a loss of 3 on the play. Shamar Turner, the defensive end, boy, he has come up large here in these last 2 possessions.
Man,
DeSoto has all 3 of their timeouts remaining. The clock is just ticked under 6 minutes and 30 seconds to play in the football game.
That defensive end, Shamar Turner, IQ off the charts. You talk about size and speed. He knows his opponent. He gets in that film room and studies.
Here he comes again from the left side. They'll throw it out in the flat, and it's dropped. Just trying to run with it before he could catch it was Malachi Medlock, and now a flag behind the play.
Yeah, and this, I think, is going to go against Duncanville, but they got to be careful because Shamar Turner still going at it with the Duncanville player that got after him.
Is that Savion Byrd?
Might have been.
Trying to calm him down, number 54?
Yeah,
no, actually, it looked like number 56 for Duncanville.
Williams?
Cameron Williams.
Yeah.
As Williams and Turner got into it behind the play. Emotions riding high right now. Here's the personal foul, and they will indeed call it against Duncanville. Well, if the Panthers are to take the next step, Scott, and win the state championship this year, what we have seen here in the second half, they can't do moving forward if they are lucky enough to advance. They just have not been disciplined enough here in this second half like they were in the first half. The first half was a great football game and a great first half played. Here in the second half, it has been so choppy.
Well, and there have been a lot of verbal exchanges that have been completely unnecessary on both sides. And you got to be able to control your emotions at a game like this.
Third down, 25 yards to go. Looking, they'll throw it, and it's going to be caught at the 40-yard line, and they're going to get the first down in a hurdle down to the 10 to the goal line, and it's stripped away, but Duncanville got on top of it for a touchdown. Chris Hicks Jr. recovered the fumble in the end zone, and some way, somehow, Duncanville has put 6 on the board.
Amazing plays that have happened in this game. And just for the sheer effort to run a
Oh, what's going on here, bro?
DeSoto 21. You're watching the UIL on the NFHS Network.
Everybody knows how good Louisiana food is. For us, it's a way of life. We call it Creole. Creole is the melting pot of cultures, music, and great food. Salt and pepper? No way. On whatever you cook or whatever you eat, use Tony Chachere's Creole season. Trust me, I know Creole. And this is the real deal.
Oh, yeah. Tony Chachere's
Makes everything taste great.
Well, Duncanville was facing a third down and forever, and they get the pass out to Turner. Turner then with the hurdle gets down to the sideline, fumbles the ball at the 1 yard line into the end zone, but it was picked up by Chris Hicks. That was an amazing turn of events.
I've seen so many things take place tonight, plays that have been made, that coaches can't coach.
Yeah.
You don't coach that stuff. These are just tremendous athletes that have come to the yard, and they're making plays.
Yeah, first it was Daniels on the punt return, and then just the speed of Turner and the hustle from Chris Hicks. Athleticism and hustle. Again, you don't get taught those kind of things. You're just blessed with them. Let's see what DeSoto can do right now here on the kickoff return. Breaking a couple of tackles, now coming here to the near side of the football.
Reversing their field, doing some things that really you're not taught to do. In fact, you're taught not to do. But sometimes when you do things that you're not taught, it turns out to be a positive. We've seen that a few times tonight.
Yeah, so now DeSoto in some trouble. Down 3 scores with only 5:46 to go. Again, they had some life, had the football, down 14, but they were at their own 5 yard line, and they just weren't able to get a drive started. So now Matt Allen will come back in here at quarterback. Chris Henley will be the running back. Now they'll move Henley over to an H-back spot. Allen to throw. Pressure coming on. Rolling out, throwing deep, looking for a man. It's caught and then dropped. Jonte Cook couldn't quite make the adjustment.
And he almost made an absolutely stellar play right there on the football at the 40-yard line with his back to the defense, falling down. That was almost an acrobatic catch.
Going to get a hold as well. This is going to go against DeSoto, as Kendrick Blackshire was coming on the weak side, and he just got grabbed. Yeah. The Duncanville bench exploded when that happened, and the official saw it. So this will set DeSoto back 10 yards. I mean, how else are you going to block that kid? 6'3", 250 pounds when he's coming.
That's called a business decision.
It's called, I'm going to try to protect my quarterback as much as I can, because if I don't, Blackshire is coming from behind, and he's not going to see him, and it's not going to end well. So the 10-yard penalty instead moves the football back to the 22, and it's first down and 20 now for the Eagles. Collier back into the football game. They'll set up the screen, and that is deflected away. There he is again, Kevon Ivey. Boy, has he made some big plays tonight.
It's interesting. Duncanville thought they had this game in the bag, and then DeSoto comes back, makes it a 2-score game, and all of a sudden, Duncanville's had to kind of turn it up a little bit on defense when they almost had it on cruise control there for a little while.
Yeah, it felt like they did have it on cruise control there midway through the third quarter, early portions of the fourth, and boy, you got to talk about turning on a light switch. We have seen it here in these last 2 possessions. They'll go with the run this time. Not much running room there for Henley, as he'll get about 4 yards as the clock ticks down towards 5 minutes to play.
And you look at Duncanville and the points that they score. They're right around 46 points a game. They're 4 shy of that mark. This is what they do. They've given up a lot more than they usually do, though, tonight. They average giving up 9 a game, and DeSoto's been able to put up 3 touchdowns.
3 previous rounds, they've given up a total of 28 points. So for DeSoto to get 21 tonight, that's a feather in their cap. So there is the man that's going to be brought down from behind. That's Jordan Crook. And again, it's 4th down. They're just...
Who do Duncanville play next, man? Do they play, because I know they're supposed to play the winner of U.S. Trinity and South Lake Carroll. That's going to be a game.
4th down.
Hey, you might well. Yeah, you got it for a month. Or did you just pay for this?
He charged a little pooch punt
Yeah,
here.
he's
Looked like he's in a punt formation, and he will indeed punt it away. Nobody back deep here for Duncanville. It'll bounce and die right at the 40-yard line, and the Panthers get the football back here with 4:27 to go. And seemingly, Scott Garner now in full control of this football game.
Yeah, they had a good hold on it earlier, but they made enough mistakes to allow DeSoto to creep back into the ball game. But again, you got 4.5 to go, and while DeSoto's got 3 timeouts, it's about making snaps, getting a block. You're not really going for the explosive play. You're just trying to make the average play and put this ball game away, shorten it, as you mentioned.
As they say, do simple better. You know, that's what DeSoto wants to do here in these final 4.5 minutes, is just do simple better and not make mistakes.
And it's funny, you watch both of these 2 teams. There's not a whole lot of trick plays. There's not gadget plays going on. These are just guys they've got about 10, 12 plays that they run, and they're just trying to execute them well.
So Grayson James with Hicks coming in motion. Here comes the first down snap. We'll go on the ground to Medlock.
Look
Medlock
out.
breaks free. Coming down the right sideline. He's inside the 30, inside the 20, and down to the 15-yard line. Well, that's doing simple better.
Yeah, you bring safeties down to the box to guard against what you think is going to be a run. And if somebody breaks into that second level and breaks a tackle, look out. There's going to be a big play and another explosive play. It's been a game of explosive plays for Duncanville, and it's what Claude Mathis and the Eagles knew that they absolutely could not give up tonight. There have been a ton of big plays that Duncanville's ripped off.
45 yards on that play there for Malachi Medlock, as the clock now rolls inside of 4 minutes to play. So it's appearing more and more evident that indeed next weekend we will get a South Lake Carroll Duncanville state semifinal. And now a timeout with the play clock winding down. Timeout taken by Grayson James. We'll step away as well. 3:47 to go. Duncanville on top of DeSoto, 42-21. You're watching the UIL on the NFHS Network.
Everybody knows how good Louisiana food is. For us, it's a way of life. We call it Creole. Creole is the melting pot of cultures, music, and great food. Salt and pepper? No way. On whatever you cook or whatever you eat, use Tony Chachere's Creole season. Trust.
That nigga went for like 5 touchdowns, dog. No, last week against Allen. He was the one that beat Allen by himself, single-handedly.
So Duncanville using their second timeout. DeSoto, they still have all 3 of theirs. 3:47 showing here on the game clock. Grayson James ready for the snap here on 1st down and 10 from the 15. Going to hand the football off, running over to the left side, get it blocked, corner turn into the end zone, touchdown, Duncanville. Keon Pugh, 15 yards out, and Duncanville makes it 48-21.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what happened there on the edge, but Ashton Lavalis Mitchell ended up getting washed down, as they say, kind of got sucked in and didn't stay outside. And there was nobody out there in the flat area on the edge to meet the ball carrier. And once you do that, if you're an outside linebacker, bad things are going to happen. And a real good thing happened there for Duncanville. Yeah, I'm looking at the number of explosive plays, as we mentioned, Mike, and there have been a ton of them tonight.
Extra point is good. 49-21. At the 11-minute mark of this game, it was a 2-score game. That's how quickly Duncanville can put things into motion.
Yep. And they've extended it back out, and it's very obvious that they've been able to showcase what they do, and they've been able to put up the W in this ball game. But I counted back at the ledger, Mike, and there have been 9 plays for Duncanville that have gone for at least 30 yards. 9 plays of at least 30 yards. That is a ton of explosive. You know, teams don't snap the ball at the high school level, but maybe 60, 65 times. And when you've got 9 of those that go for that many yards, it's just very hard to withstand that kind of attack. And you look at the overall yardage disparity, and Duncanville, they've got over 300 yards. They have bested them by 300 yards. 505 total yards for Duncanville tonight. DeSoto 185 in the game.
And against the DeSoto team coming in, averaging 485 yards a game.
Yes.
That's how good the Duncanville defense is. So it looks like your state semifinals in 6A Division I. No shortage of firepower here. South Lake Carroll, Duncanville. On the other side, you got the 2-time defending state champs North Shore against Austin Westlake. Those will be 2 heavyweight fights coming up next weekend.
They need to just leave.
So here is the kickoff, and a little indecision about who is going to return the kickoff. And eventually Adonis Scott says, I'll take it. And he'll take it out across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Yeah, these 6A Division I semifinals are going to be great next weekend.
Going to be great. And again,
we had better talent.
expected.
Westlake, they beat Steele. They shut them out 34-0 yesterday. North Shore beat Ridgepoint 56-14. Here's a pass deflected in the air. That's going to be intercepted by Duncanville, and that's going to be returned for a touchdown. Jordan Crook, and there is the icing on the cake tonight.
Just what this ball game needed, a pick six. Jordan Crook sort of rounds us out there. We've seen a number of things tonight. We've seen kick returns for a touchdown. We've seen wacky gadget plays for a touchdown. We've seen a ball deflected up into the air for a touchdown. It's just been that kind of game. And, Duncanville, they're going to stretch this thing out. And people are going to forget that, as you mentioned, this was a two-score game early in the fourth.
With DeSoto having the football, too. There was 8 minutes to go, and they got the football at their own 5-yard line. And now they will take the delay of game and penalty. So they were just like celebrating as well. Like, oh.
Dropping these ads on these boys for the end of the game. Y'all got me messed up.
Is a word that kind of comes to mind because you saw that defensive front. They volleyball that pass up into the air. They have not quit in this ball game. Still hungry for more points. They're ready to go.
Here comes the point after attempt, and it is good. And with 3:16 to go, Duncanville now leads it 56-21 over DeSoto. You're watching the UIL on the NFHS Network.
Everybody knows how good Louisiana food is. For us, it's a way of life. We call it Creole. Creole is the melting pot of cultures, music, and great food. Salt and pepper? No way. On whatever you cook or whatever you eat. use Tony Chachere's Creole season. Trust me,
But
I know
I
Creole,
knew
and
last week
this
Duncanville was gonna hang
is
that
the
up.
real
About
deal.
50
Oh, yeah. Tony Zachary.
I knew we
Makes
were gonna
everything
lose, man,
taste
so that's
great.
why I'm not really pissed off about it. There's no way we was beating
3 consecutive touchdowns scored here by Duncanville, all here in about a 3-minute span. It's taken what once was a 14-point game up to a 35-point game. Math is hard when you're adding up big numbers.
Well,
like
it
we're
is
seeing here tonight.
when you have this many points scored. It is. You know, this is again a game that has seen.
Yeah, Mathis want to throw in number 1. And then we couldn't capitalize though. That's what Duncanville did that we didn't do. We couldn't capitalize on them drop punts. We couldn't capitalize on the fumbles. They had
Position
2
group,
fumbles
Mike.
that we
And his
couldn't
kids fought hard.
They did.
I mean, they could have easily folded things up when it was 35-7 there early in the third quarter, but they fought and made this a football game. Again, 8 minutes to go. They're down 14 with the ball.
We couldn't
So here is the kickoff return. Trying to find a little running room and not finding much. That's Mike Murphy. Murphy be tackled there at the 27-yard line with 3:05 to go. So Duncanville, they're going to improve to 10-1 here on the season. Reginald Sample's going to get career victory number 293 tonight. Again, the all-time winningest African-American football coach in UIL history.
5th year after a 9-year stint at Skyline, 15 years at Lincoln. Yeah, you mentioned the career record, and he knows how to coach, and he knows how to motivate, and he knows how to coach his coaches, and that's probably the best attribute that he's got.
Matt Allen going to hand the football off, and getting the carry is Jaden Trawick. He's the freshman. He's the future. It's about he's got a handful of carries here tonight. He picks up about 3 yards there on first down, bring up 2nd down and 7.
One of the things he's really proud of is the fact that, you know, at Skyline, you mentioned there he was there 9 years. At Skyline, they won 6 straight district titles there at Skyline and really built that program.
Here's a nice run up the middle across the 40-yard line. Trawick again. And that'll be enough to move the chains, a gain of 13 yards. Let's see if Desoto can put on one more touchdown drive here before we say goodnight. Allen again to Trawick, running off the right side, and he'll take it to midfield and into Duncanville territory after the gain of 8. So you're starting to see some backups in there now here for the Panthers. They'll get a little taste of playing in a regional final. 2nd down. Allen again, Trawick with his 4th consecutive carry. And he gets popped, and looks like he'll come about a yard shy.
Madison, again, we mentioned the sophomore. To be that young and to start on this squad, that tells you how good he is.
On the ground it goes again, and Desoto will get the first down. Down to the 44-yard line, as that will stop the clock while they move the chains here with 1:30 to go. It's going to take a real good effort from South Lake Carroll, North Shore, or Westfield to beat this Duncanville team if they're playing at their peak level. Quarterback's going to keep it himself this time. Allen, he gets wrestled down to the ground after the gain of a couple yards.
Yeah, just kind of pulled down. You see the sheer strength by a lot of those linemen down there. Again, that's where this Duncanville defense starts up front. The front 7 are as imposing as you'll find. But I promise you, Riley Dodge and company, they're going to find a way to try to exploit the weaknesses and that sometimes over-aggression that Duncanville tends to play with at times.
Allen looking to throw this time over the middle. He's got a man catching it in stride, and going into the end zone for a touchdown is Adonis Scott. So Scott's got the punt return for a touchdown, and now he's got the 42-yard touchdown reception as well.
And love the tenacity right there by Scott and just that tenacious effort after the catch. He was determined to get into the end zone there to put up another one for the Eagles, who, again, they'll leave here disappointed that they didn't win this game, but a real good showing for DeSoto against one of the nation's top teams. They're top 10 in the country. And Micah, I would love to go back into the annals of Texas high school football history, just kind of compare some of the great teams of yesteryear with what Duncanville's been able to assemble here in 2020, 2021.
Extra point is good, and that makes our new score 56-28 here with 40 seconds to go. Which Duncanville team you think was better, this one or the one that lost in heartbreaking fashion in 2018 on that Hail Mary?
That's hard to tell. I think this one right now, tonight, they've got more players and spot. The athletes are kind of more spread out at position groups, and I think that the defensive front of this team is better than the one 2 years ago. That's the difference.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And then, because Quinn, Ivy, Wright, Abor, all of those guys have been great. And then you had Blackshire in there as well.
Yeah.
Just what he does. And Thursby and Crook, that front seven is just, it's so good. It's so tough to run against them.
It's tough to run against them, but, ask opposing quarterbacks. How much fun is that when those guys, they're not blitzing. They're not blitzing, they're bull rushing and still driving your own lineman right into your face, and you're having to, on these timing routes, on these passes into the flat, on the outs, on the quick slants, all of a sudden you're having to throw it a little bit earlier than you want, and you're out of rhythm. And it just takes a little bit. They don't have to get a sack every time. They just have to make you think they're going to.
It's a dominant defense. And again, they'd given up a total of 28 points in their 3 previous playoff games. DeSoto's got 28 tonight. So again, this is a really good DeSoto team that Duncanville is going to dispose of here tonight and advance on to the state semifinals, as they'll just have to take one knee, and this game will be put to bed. And again, I appreciate the efforts from DeSoto tonight. The way that they fought back in this game and made it.
2 years ago when they whooped our ass, and last year, didn't they beat us too last year?
The way that they fought back in this game and made it a game, but Duncanville, you always say you can't turn it on like a light switch. Well, Duncanville kind of did. After kind of sleepwalking a little bit for about 2 or 3 series, they said, okay, making a game of it, here we go. We're going to put our foot down.
Most teams, they get down 21 points to Duncanville, they're going to roll over.
Yeah.
That's what happens to most teams. Not Claude Mathis's bunch tonight. Really, really impressed and have a lot of respect for those kids down there.
Claude Mathis, one of my favorite people to talk to in Texas high school football. So it was no surprise that he had his team ready to play in this one tonight, but there was just a little too much firepower from Duncanville, as there is the kneel down, and glad to see cooler heads prevail after things were getting a little shaky there in the third quarter. But congratulations to Reginald Samples and the Duncanville Panthers, as they have won the regional championship. They advance to the state semifinals as they knock off their rival DeSoto tonight, 56-28. And I like what the coaches are doing right now. They're just making sure the players really don't get too close to each other. It's almost like they're building a brick wall.
Yeah,
you're not crossing. If you want to say congratulations, just say hello from a safe social distance.
Yeah, maybe twice the social distance that you normally might see here. They're almost acting as security guards here to make certain that these two teams don't get too close together. Again, they're very passionate. There's no question the passion boiling over at times tonight. You've got to play with fiery. You've got to play with passion. You just have to learn how to control that. And for a 17, 18-year-old kid, sometimes cooler heads don't prevail.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys from both Duncanville and DeSoto, they're friends.
They are.
They've grown up together, and I'm sure after the ball game is over, they'll text each other and they'll be friends again. But here on the football field tonight, here for at least these 2.5, 3 hours, you're the enemy.
Sometimes you don't get along with your own brother.
Right.
Sometimes you have sibling rivalries. It doesn't mean you don't love them.
Right.
And, so we see a very good rivalry continuing tonight between DeSoto and Duncanville. And it's going to be a great game next week between the Panthers and the Dragons. And we'll see where and when that ball game will take place. But I know a lot of people are going to be anticipating that one.
That will certainly be one hot ticket for that state semifinal. So that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Thanks to technical advisor Tracy Turner. For what's your name? Scott Garner? Yeah.
We've only been together how many games now?
I'm kidding. For Scott Garner.
You're happy to get rid of me.
My name is Mike Peasley. We're going to call it a night here at Globe Life Park. Again, the final score, the Duncanville Panthers 56, the Desoto Eagles 28. Thanks so much for watching. Happy New Year. Have a great
Mm-hmm. I need your ass up there screaming in their damn face. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
On in a hurry. Southlake, as you know, this Euless Trinity team a little bit different. They like to do it on the ground, don't they?
They do, and boy, they have. Their running back Ollie Jordan last week, really the talk of the state after he carried the ball 49 times. 49 times. 455 yards and 6 touchdowns. It was an amazing performance by Ollie Jordan last week.
Iceman. That's the first thing that I thought of when I saw that. I mean, he's a guy that can take those kind of hits. He's 6'2", 191, a little bit bigger back, but I don't care who you are. You carry it 49 times, you're going to have some bruises.
That was something else. Trinity wants to run the football. Southlake Carroll with the country's #1 high school player in 2022, Quinn Ewers, headed to Ohio State after decommitting from Texas. This should be a great football game here today. The winner advancing to the state semifinals. Trinity won the coin toss. They elected to defer, and today's opening kickoff brought to you by Tony Sacheries, and we are underway. Fair catch called at the 28-yard line, so we'll get a look at this Dragons offense. Southlake Carroll in getting to the regional final. They beat Haltom City in the first round 49-14, then knocked off Permian 38-7, and as Scott mentioned, beat Arlington Martin last week 30-26. Southlake Carroll trying to get to the state semifinals for the first time since 2011, and they are certainly glad to have Quinn Ewers back under center.
I thought holding Haltom to 14 and then Odessa Permian to 7 said really all you need to know about South Lake Carroll and the fact they're not just an offensive team.
They'll start a little pass out here into the slot. It's going to be caught here by Landon Sampson. Gets the sideline and gets out of bounds. They'll say stepped out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Landon Sampson, the junior, with his 42nd catch of the season.
He's a blazer. Sampson, a guy that can go down and get it, as you saw. And if you give him any room, he can turn it on in a hurry. South Lake, as you know, they like to go with tempo, but I like how they're trying to stretch out the defense early, get the ball on the perimeter, loosen it up. A lot of times those backers come into a game like this, they want to get to the line of scrimmage a little overzealous sometimes.
First down and 10 for the Dragons. Allen splits out the running back into the wide receiver spot. Empty backfield for Ewers. Trinity rushes for over the middle. They got a man. It's caught. That's Brady Boyd, and Boyd still on his feet at the 25-yard line. Brady Boyd open in the middle of the Trinity defense. A big play for South Lake Carroll.
Going to the air early, and Boyd running a nice post on the backside of that play was wide open.
Throw a little swing pass out here. The ball's going to be caught. Easy pass